Hey, Ronnie, you made it.
Just in time, Ron.
I made it. Hang on. Let me get the. There we go.
You were late, so I'm going to go ahead and mute you. Ron's cut off for the first 2 minutes.
Bayley, where's your dog at?
Oh, come here. We'll get one. Oh, here's one.
Hatchet out of nowhere.
We got two.
Perfect.
Hey, Nick, that's a really nice Onyx Hunt app hat.
What do you think about that?
Ron, I'm surprised you're not wearing Pike gear.
Let me look. I just had my hair done.
I got my Kiowa shirt almost within reach. Can't get to it.
Ron, you look spiffy.
I would say dapper.
Dapper, very dapper. Yeah.
Yep.
If I take my glasses off, I can't see a soul.
Whoa.
But do I look dapper without my glasses?
George Clooney comes to mind.
You know what? A girl told me that one time.
Clooney's grandpa, maybe.
Was she the one? She was the one not wearing glasses at the time, right? Her eyesight that was screwed up, not yours.
I wasn't wearing glasses, so I have no idea what you look like. But nah, you're all good looking.
Nick, before this whole thing gets way out of hand, do you want to introduce our guest this week?
Yeah, I would like to. And I will first address, I see the listeners going, I appreciate that, guys. I really thought about rocking the mustache today, and it was a last-minute decision, but I didn't want the striking presence of my mustache to be a distraction from our awesome guest this week. So I will segue into the intros at this point. And Bailey's frozen right now, so hopefully that straightens out. But right below me is well, wait a second now, Amanda. You said I got close to the pronunciation last week. I'm going to try it again. Is it Amanda Ballengee?
Close, kind of close. It's Ballengee.
Ballengee. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was almost making it more complicated than it was.
Yeah. It was super fancy. I like it.
Well, thanks for joining us, Amanda. Tell us a little bit about where you are and I guess what you think brings you here today.
I'm from Southern West Virginia, and a little backstory on me. I grew up hunting deer and turkey, and I followed my dad since I was just a little kid, grouse hunting and stuff. And it wasn't until just a few years ago I actually started hunting on my own. So now I have a Weimaraner, and she will be 12 in November. And then I have Rohan here, who's napping beside me, and he's right at 7 months old. So super excited for this season.
What's that picture behind you?
Are you friends with Meredith by any chance?
Meredith.
With the Weimaraner Club or the Weimaraners?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
She's in Virginia, and I know she raises Weimaraners. I thought maybe it was a small world.
What's that picture behind you, Amanda?
That is a painting, and it will actually be. Yeah.
That's got to be a square.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that painting is featured in the Project Upland trailer and will be in an upcoming Project Upland film that kind of tells your story. I haven't seen any of that, Amanda. I'm excited to, but I think it kind of weaves together your passion for hunting, but also the artistry. Tell us a little bit about, have you been fiddling around with canvas and paint for a long time?
Yeah, I've always been interested in artwork and the outdoors. So naturally they just kind of came together. I guess when you work creatively, it's hard to do it, when you're not working with something that you absolutely love. And for me, that was the outdoors, and which is also why, I like hunting and everything. So,
yeah.
But yeah, now I run my small business, and I kind of concentrate on upland, but, I branch out some, and I do commission work for people with their gun dogs and doing their portraits and whatnot. So
very cool.
I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people and hearing the stories of their dogs and everything, working through clients and everything. It's been really neat. I love it.
Yeah. And we are fortunate enough to have not one guest this week, but two guests. The second being one of my partners in crime here on the North Shore of Lake Superior, Ms. Bayley Peterson. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys. Thanks for having me.
Where is she? I don't see her.
She's right below you, literally.
Really?
No.
Oh.
This is Hollywood Square.
It must be.
There's a black square.
Square. So
Uh,
come on.
Yep,
Did
Brock
you-
guy is Brock guy with this bingo card is pretty much just ruined everybody with now with technology messed up. So
Yeah. Bailey, don't wave your hands around.
What is it? Am I frozen?
You were. Now your audio's coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, Bailey's in Two Harbors, Minnesota, North Shore, and a DNR wildlife biologist, right, Bailey?
That's good. Thanks for the intro.
You got it. But you're also a bird dog handler and an upland hunting nut, like most of us on here. And
Yep.
you, when did you? You just lost a dog. So first of all, sorry about the loss of your dog, Gandalf. Tell us a little bit about how Gandalf came into your life.
wait a minute, we had a Gandalf and a Rohan
Yes,
for real, and this was not
Part of
planned.
my life.
Are you kidding me? This was absolutely
Look at a
meant to
Harry
be.
Potter book and read it for a while.
That was Lord of the Rings, but yeah, good try there.
Whatever. Whatever.
Yep. When Gandalf was my husband's first dog,
Okay.
I mean, we got him after we got married, but he'd never had a dog before. Prior to that, I had a rescue dog that I got in college that I was told was half Gordon Setter, half Lab, which was
really.
he wasn't either of those things. I don't think. He could flush birds a little bit, and he wouldn't retrieve, and he didn't go in the water. But at that time, I was primarily a waterfowl hunter, and so did a lot of canoeing. And yeah,
I got a bridge you can buy over in West Virginia.
great. But yeah, we did a lot of waterfowl hunting when we first got the golden, and then we kind of branched out into pheasant hunting. And as we moved north, we got more into grouse and woodcock hunting, and
Yeah.
rest is history, I guess.
Did you have early exposure to hunting, Bailey?
No, not really. My grandpa was a big duck and goose hunter in Saskatchewan, but I didn't know him then.
Yeah, and you grew up in the Brainerd Lakes area of Minnesota, right?
I grew up in the Twin Cities, but
Oh, okay.
I went to high school in Brainerd.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the geography of Minnesota, and I know that's going to shock so many of you guys. I don't.
You
yeah.
come over here enough, Tyler.
I know, but it's like when you guys take off and you guys had hunting, Nick and Bailey, how far north how far is International Falls from you guys? Like, is that a long ways?
Was that like 3.5, 4 hours, Bailey?
No way.
Yeah. Well, it is just because there's not like a highway to get
Yeah,
there.
it's not an interstate.
We're an hour and a half from the border, where I am.
So when you guys are where you're at, do you guys still hunt up north? Like, it seems like everybody hunts up north. It doesn't matter where you are, but you hunt up north, right?
Well, we are up north.
Yeah, we
Right.
are up north. Yeah, I would say Duluth is, I guess I don't know about people that live to the south of me, what they would think, but I would say Duluth is kind of like it's like once you get north of Duluth, then you're in the great north country at that
Okay.
point. And I mean, to me, I've always just had, and it's probably similar for a lot of folks, it has a lot to do with the boundary waters and just the remote wilderness up there. To me, like going north of Duluth always like awakens like a sense of adventure, like you're going into the real wilderness,
Nick, can we be honest for a minute?
Yeah.
All the people that immigrated and came across from Europe, all the good stuff was taken, and all the Finlanders and Norwegians, all they had left was the UP in northern Minnesota.
That's where they wound up.
There's no romance to this. That's all you had left for your 80 acres of a mule.
Hey, well, a lot of the roads that I drive down to go grouse hunting have Finnish names, so
That makes sense. Yeah, they basically just came all the way across, and as soon as they hit the land, they're like, "Nope, we're done. This is far enough. We're not going any farther. It's not going to get any better."
yeah. So, but really, I always say like Bailey and myself, we could drive any direction out of. Bailey she would wind up in the lake if she went straight south, but if we could go any direction out of our house, and you're in grouse country, so it's kind of
Nice.
right in the center as far as that goes.
Nice. I've only ever been to Duluth. Like, I've driven through there twice when I was going to Michigan. That was it.
Yeah.
So
You,
stayed
did you
there once.
stop?
Yeah, I stayed one night,
Okay.
but
All right.
I found a pool hall, and then the rest is history. So
What was the pool hall called?
Oh, geez, it was right downtown.
Do you remember?
No, not at all.
Horseshoe? Sharks?
No, Sharks,
Yeah.
I think.
Sharks. Yeah, well, I used to hang out at those. I don't know why, but I used to hang out there and pretend to be a pool player sometimes.
Well, see, the place may have been called Sharks, but humble brag.
the real shark came from North Dakota.
I made enough to pay for my hotel room that night. We'll just say that.
That's awesome. Ron, what you been up to this week?
I have been. I tried to play mechanic. I tried.
You guys had your big test, right?
I tried to change the brakes on my Dodge Ram, and I've got
Tried.
I got brake fluid all over the floor.
Oh, boy.
Still leaking, and I'm going to do a second attempt at it tomorrow, maybe. Yeah. I haven't done
Didn't
shit.
you guys have a big test last week, Ron? Or last weekend?
Yeah, we had a 3-day NAVDA test, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I just got done doing my intro for the show, and your buddy Paul, did you hear?
It was your buddy Paul first, so I'll claim him, but you also have to.
No. Paul, you've heard of bringing a switchblade to a gunfight?
Yep.
Paul borrowed a butter knife.
Oh no! You try to run that dog at UT?
Is that a dog diss?
It's a dog. No, it's a trainer dish.
Okay.
But the best thing about Paul was nothing bothered them. You get people that have a problem in the test, and they get all nervous and they get mad, and they're mad at their dog, and you don't even want to see him in the next section of the test. Paul just walks up with his shotgun and his cigarette. He's like, "Hi guys, what's next?" Well, get your dog to stand by the water for a minute. We're going to have you go take 2 shots over in the woods. And he walks over in the woods, and before he can even get the first shot off, Autumn is over right next to him. And he brings her back, and he goes like, "Autumn, damn it." And he brings her back to the duck blind, and we go, "Paul, you're done." He goes, "What?" He says, "I didn't get to shoot." I said, "Yeah, well, she didn't stay in the blind, so you don't get to shoot." So, it was a comedy of errors, but it was so much fun, and I wish every handler I ever handled had the humor and the wherewithal, Paul, because it was. We'll tell the story some other day, but it was epic. I will never forget that day as long as I live.
That's awesome.
I saw
Bayley, there was a NAVDA test over at Pine Ridge Grouse Camp over the weekend too. You spent some time over there. What's the recap from that?
That was cool. It was the first time a test has been hosted there. It got moved from where we usually have the summer test. Actually, Ron judged me in that summer test in Virginia, at the Virginia grounds a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And that got moved to Pine Ridge, and it went really well. It was the first time, like I said, that a test has been hosted there, and I think it's good grounds for it, so probably do it again in the future.
Cool. Well, Amanda, you mentioned you got a 7-month-old English setter lying at your feet somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
What's it been like for 7 months?
Crazy. He is so different in every single way from Shotzi, my Weimaraner.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, that's like today I took him out running and it's hot. So I just wanted it to be like a quick, easy little run. And he is just getting it, dude. He's like really at that age now where he's like really starting to branch out, and he recalls well and everything, but he gets turned around. Like he can't really locate my whistle well. So he was like out at 400 plus yards, and I'm whistling, and he's a handful, but I absolutely love him. He's been just a pleasure to work with. He makes me look good because everything just seems to fall into place with him, but we'll see, how that goes this season on Wild Birds. I don't really know what to anticipate, but
Yeah.
Ooh, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
Are
So
you
exciting.
in that part of? I mean, most of West Virginia, if it's flat, it's because it's got some asphalt on it. Are you in the?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be hunting up in the mountains and in the hills?
Oh yeah. We're in the midst of them. So yeah.
Because I've hunted West Virginia, but way up in Franklin and along Rockingham County in Virginia to West Virginia.
Okay.
Sugar Grove, but like probably 4 hours from where you're at. If you're in southeast, yeah. Is there a few grouse around left up there anywhere?
A few. A few. There's some places that has, some, but like locally, they're just really grouse. We kind of like leave alone just to work the dogs on. And to hunt, it's usually about an hour to 2 hour drive. So yeah, it's tough, but it's really rewarding though. So
When we were first chatting a couple weeks ago, you were talking about maybe taking a run up to the Minnesota to do some woodcock and/or grouse hunting, or maybe both.
Yeah.
Is that still the plan?
Yep. Mid-October. Super excited about it.
Nice.
And big shout out to Bayley for helping me out a whole bunch. So
What part of Minnesota are you going?
like 40 minutes south of Duluth is where we'll be staying. I figured it's kind of like real centralized. So
Maybe we can get Nick to share his Onyx.
Hey, Nick.
yeah.
Yeah. If you want pins, I got them.
How far is that from Hinckley, where she's going?
If she's 40 minutes south of Duluth, then we're
It's
talking
right north.
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I
Hinckley.
mean, a bit
I think
north
it's
of
like,
there.
yeah.
There's
Maybe another 30 minutes or something.
there's some, and I'm sure. I mean, Jared took me there, but it's not a secret spot. It's Pheasant Forever Properties. You know that the public. And I'll tell you what, you get up there, you're gonna get that little pup on a bunch of woodcock and grouse. You are gonna absolutely go wrong. You are.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'll have a gun, but I'm just, really excited to just watch him.
Yeah.
Because that's before our season even comes in.
That's what I was going to ask.
After,
so later October is when you would start up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have either of you guys ever taken any other trips out of state before, or is this kind of your first one, Amanda?
Yeah, this is our first, so it'll be a learning curve. I'm super excited about it.
Bayley, you went someplace last year, didn't you? Because I think we were texting the one day. Didn't you head down to like Nebraska or something?
Yeah, I start out the season the last 4 years in Montana, and then last year I went to the UP and to Wisconsin and to Nebraska and to Montana. So
nice.
Get around a bit.
Just keep on driving down Highway 2. If you need to call Nick if you want to stop and have a beer one day, because he'll be here, I think.
Yep.
Somebody wants to know what kind of romantic candles you're using today, Tyler.
None. It's too freaking hot, man.
Is it hot over there?
It's 96 today. Yeah, it is. It is brutally nasty hot. It is gross.
That means it'll be like that here tomorrow or the next day.
Supposed to be like this for the next week, and then it's going to get down to like the mid 70s when Ron gets here, and it's not going to get any warmer than that I can see.
Wow,
that's nice.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be like the first day you're here, Ron. High's like 68. We should have some good weather.
Nice.
I see Sean E is commenting over here on the side. He just left here yesterday. He must have driven right home and just jumped on to watch, basically. He's over by Minneapolis. So
you guys were out chasing birds?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. It was pretty warm while they were here too. So we chased birds until about 11 o'clock in the morning, and then one day we started playing beanbag toss at noon. Which turned into beanbag toss until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which, there was beverages consumed. And then I think somebody passed out at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't me. So, it was a rough day, but yeah, it was fun. We had a really good time with those guys. What's that? Yeah.
Same as cornhole? Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe North Dakota just used prairie dog holes or something. I didn't know what you did.
We don't like to say cornhole. That means something else over here. So we use bag toss.
I kind of like bag toss.
It's a little bit less. It has less negative connotations.
Up at deer camp in the great northern Minnesota, we just call it bags.
Bags, yes.
Yeah.
You better bring your game face, even though I went like 1 for 10 the other day against Nate Burbach and Matt Schmidt. But I'm better than that. I had Wes Larrabee as a partner, and he is awful.
Yeah, you got that can definitely hurt you. I will say I've got a little bit of a skill set in that game. I've had some nights, but sometimes I wonder if it's just the right amount of beer at deer camp and the competition maybe. But I'll throw some bags out there.
I'm down. I'm absolutely down.
Bayley, Montana trip again for you this year, early season?
Yep. We're gonna start in the south, so AJ can fish a little bit. We'll do a couple days floating on the Bighorn, and then we'll go back up to the northeast. Yeah.
AJ has a fishing requirement, right? Always.
Yeah.
There's another
It's a
guy.
hurdle. We make it through.
We're in the Northeast. Like, by what town are you going to be by?
Oh, that's
okay.
sacred information.
Yeah,
No problem.
yeah.
No problem. Is it like a little town or is it a big town?
It is a town with a couple motels.
It is a town. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Bayley will be in Montana.
It's a small state. They'll find you.
Everything else still the same. Obviously, you'll be kicking around here for the prime time. But then, are you thinking Nebraska again too?
Yeah, we'll go to Nebraska again. I'll start with opener at Pine Ridge, helping with their upland training camp.
Okay, cool.
Opening weekend. Yep, and then probably. What was that?
Nothing.
Okay. We our license is good in Nebraska through the calendar year, so we'll probably go again before January, but then we'll probably go again in January.
Nice.
Oh, I gotcha. So you would go. So you might do 2 trips down there. Okay, that's cool. Well, chasing primarily quail or pheasant and quail?
Yeah, pheasants are bonus, or bycatch. Okay. I don't even know if they bonus, but quail was targeted.
Okay, that's cool.
So
Amanda, I have a question for you. When you decided to get into bird hunting, why did you pick the kind of dogs that you started with? Both the first one and then what you got now.
Shotzi, my mom. It's actually kind of funny. When I was a senior in high school and I was about to graduate, I really wanted a dog, and I was begging my dad to get a dog, and he bird hunted, and he thought it was a great idea to put a stipulation that it needed to be a bird dog. So we were familiar with WAMs at the time, so I wanted a WAM, which little did I know that it would work out in my favor later on. So I helped work with her and train her and stuff, and we got her when she was 6 or 8 months old. And anyway, so my dad hunted her exclusively, and then it wasn't I would go with Dad, and I enjoyed going hunting, and I enjoyed the walking and the grouse, but I barely carried a gun. I just always had my camera. And then until one day we hit this honey hole of woodcock, and it was the greatest place ever. It was just this random little patch of autumn olive on a plateau, and it was just packed with woodcock. And Dad limited out in minutes, and he just handed me the gun. He's like, "Here you go." And I didn't want it because I didn't want the embarrassment, because I never really shot much, but I took it. And Shotzi, she's the woodcock queen, and she was doing her thing and doing amazing, and she went on point, and I went in behind her and flushed it, first shot it, and Dad had always been the guy to hunt with her, and I was anticipating her to retrieve it to him, but she picked that thing up and brought it right to me, and tears just came to my eyes, and it was the most special thing ever. And that's the moment I was I've been missing out. So it was just truly special. I don't know, just and it sounds that it was because I killed the bird, and it wasn't that. It was just the connection with her being my dog, and the fact that she even recognized it somehow. So, and then that's the story on shots. And then over the years I've been kind of gradually getting more into it, and she's getting older now, so I've wanted an English setter for years, and I've been patiently waiting for the right time. And sure enough, we have Rohan now, so I'm super excited. Still planning to hunt Shotzi. I don't know how I'm going to work that out, because she is not friendly with other dogs. She's super rude. She'll just bust in and flush them out of spite. So they're got to be separated.
Yeah, you have to run them separate for the most part.
So from the time of that first woodcock till now, how much time has passed?
That was 5 years ago, and I didn't really start hunting on my own independently for the past 2 seasons. So would you say that it's the dogs? I know you said it was kind of a special moment with the birds and the dogs, but do you think it's the dogs that kind of drives you into wanting to hunt? Definitely, yeah. I love hunting because I love being outside, love the outdoors. I always have, but upland hunting specifically, it's because of the dogs. And, it's nice that you're on your feet the whole time and you're walking around and exploring, and it's not always the same thing. I mean, I enjoy time in the tree stand, but bird hunting is really special. And it's 1,000% because of the dogs.
What's a typical walk like what's a typical walk over there like? Like, I know you guys are hunting mostly way up in the mountains. Like, is it just kind of one of those things where you get out of the car in the morning and you're just, and you get back, like when you get back kind of a thing? Or are there smaller covers that you're actually kind of, like typical grouse hunting would be where you kind of park and you walk like a little, like 20-acre slashing or whatever, and then you come back to the truck and go to the next spot. But is it like that there?
Yeah, it's smaller pockets. It's all scattered out. Yeah, there's a lot of driving, and I don't have a whole lot of experience hunting like public land. I'm really familiar with hunting like coal strips, where you cut a side of a mountain going back and forth, working your way, covering that whole mountain. And so, yeah, you'll like cover a side of a mountain, and depending on how they work, you'll get in the truck, go to the next spot, hit that. So yeah, it's just like small pockets, and woodcock is hit and miss, trying to figure out where they're at.
Sure.
From what you've seen so far, Amanda, tell us a little, like, what does the cover look like that you're flushing grouse? And I think most of us know the numbers of grouse are not what they once were down there, but are you in the rhododendron? What are you flushing the grouse, and where have you had success?
When I was younger and I would go with my dad, I remember a lot of grouse being on like rhododendron and stuff, and even like in grapevines and stuff on the side of the hill. But anymore, it's just like the thickest stuff, like a lot of greenbriers. Like anytime we're hunting, we're wading through greenbriers. So, and
just so you know, Tyler, greenbriers suck.
I was just they have that feeling in my head. Are they tough on the dogs?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you're picking out the briars when you get home and everything. And, sometimes they'll rip their ear and it's a bloody mess. And I remember when Adam was down here filming that film, he just kept commenting. He's like, "What are those things?" I was like, "They're greenbriers, man. They're awful."
Yeah, Adam was on here. He was on here commenting earlier. He'd be a good one to talk to just because he knows this. And now Ron obviously has seen both types of cover too.
Yeah. Yeah, Adam's a good guy.
It sucks. It really does. I came from Michigan. I lived in Virginia for all those years. And I was like, no wonder why nobody hunts Virginia or West Virginia. Because you have to be part billy goat, triathlete, and it is, you got to have GER. You have to have GER to hunt grouse. I mean, I don't care what it is. If there's a little bit of you that doesn't like pain or discomfort, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Yeah.
But
it has nice views though.
When you get up to the top of a hill or rise, like where I hunt in George Washington National Forest, which is on the border of Virginia and West Virginia, you get up to the top of a hill, and like the largest roadless area east of the Mississippi is in West Virginia. It's a big chunk. You might as well be in Alaska. I mean, it's true wilderness. I mean, it's been logged already. It's been mined, but it is crazy wilderness up there.
Is that around like the Cranberry Wilderness or something? Yeah. And there's another one. There's Brandywine, Cranberry, and I've never hunted down where you are, but I've hunted all along that more northern and eastern border of West Virginia, Yeah.
I just buy a license for both because some days we're literally walking the border.
Yeah.
And
the mountains are really different up north. They're really rocky.
Oh, and you can go down you can come up over a rise and then you're like, well, that looks like a good spot. And then you look down, you're looking at like a 700-foot ravine. Like, well, we're not going down there.
Yeah.
Is that what spoiled you for chucker hunting?
Oh, yeah. Chucker hunting. They ain't got nothing on West Virginia.
Amanda, I don't know if you saw that comment pop up, but somebody was asking, are you Hunt VA on Facebook?
Am I what?
Are you Hunt VA on Facebook? Is that how they find you?
No, just Amanda Ballengee.
Okay.
set that direct. So I guess, Bayley, we'll ask you the same question. So I know you've got an English setter, and I think you've got a Mustelander. Or
Yep.
Is that what kind of led you to those two breeds? I guess which one did you start with?
The Munsterlander was first, and that was our kind of transition from we still like waterfowl hunting, we're still going to do it, to also wanting a pointing dog. And I don't know if I would suggest starting like versatile or starting pointing, having both now, because the Munsterlander was more of a challenge to train despite an abundance of wild birds, and I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and what to do, say to him or whatever, except just take him out and show him birds. But
some of us still don't know for sure. We just keep on faking it.
Yeah, but the Munsterlander was good. It was just they're more of a stubborn breed, kind of a soft temperament, but his temperament's not nearly as soft as the setter. And then we had him for a few years, and I just think I need a little more dog power for the amount that I hunt and the trips that I take. And so we got the setter last year, the year before.
So how did you land on the setter coming from the versatile dog? Were you wanting to something that was more specialized to just the upland and the pointing?
Yeah. So one of my mentors when I got into woodcock banding, and then the guy who invited us to Montana first, and then who we've been going out there every year since, he has a couple of Northwood setters, so same breeder as Nick. And the way that Mogul, my Munsterlander, worked with those dogs, I just thought was really good fit. They worked, a little faster, a little further. And then the Munsterlander, his nose is always on the ground, and he's just tracking all the time. And he's not like a boot polisher or anything. He'll get out there a bit in the woods too, but he just works a lot differently. And I just thought the way that those two dogs worked together was really good. And then I ultimately ended up with the Llewellyn just because I still wanted that more cautious and more tracking type dog for the kind of work that I do. On top of woodcock banding, I do a little bit more other kinds of bird research too, or helping with game bird research with my dogs, and I just prefer that slower working style.
Let's take care of Randy's question.
So Ron wants to know if it retrieves.
Right. Randy is my neighbor who has setters, and Amanda's is very young. Does your dog do some fun retrieves, like bumper retrieves, or? Yeah.
He's really mouthy when he retrieves.
Retrieve.
That's awesome.
How about Bayley's setter? Is a good retriever?
Looks like it.
She's showing it right now. She's got a picture of her dog with a duck in the mouth. You still can't see her, huh?
No, I can't see anything.
What?
Ron or Doug, kick Ron out. Bring him back in.
Do I have to bring him back though?
Matt B in the comments is asking. It's Northwoods bird dogs was what Bayley was referencing when she said that.
Is that the same place that you get your dog from, Nick?
Yeah, that's where I've got my two, and then Amanda's dog actually has like one full side of Northwoods bird dogs, right, Amanda?
Yeah.
Yeah, go Sir Gordon, who I was going to get a dog out of the same sire that Amanda's dog did, but that litter ended up not happening, so I transitioned. But yeah, our my puppy Rose and Amanda's dog they've got a pretty good dose of the same blood, just from what I know of the two pedigrees.
Nice.
Yep. Bayley, I was curious, Amanda, when Doug, I don't remember, no, when Tyler, you asked Amanda about how she hunted down there, and I'm kind of curious, because I obviously know the region that Bayley hunts, and I'm curious if, like, when you go out, do you like to take long walks? Do you like to take short walks, or mix it up, do a little bit of everything? Because, I mean, we can kind of do whatever we want here.
What is a long walk in the grouse woods? Like, can you literally just start walking trails over there?
Yeah, the county that I live in is 74% public land, so
that's a bit.
Yeah,
and it's one of the biggest counties in the state. So there's a lot you could walk. But the thing is like we keep talking about going further and further north into Minnesota, but as you get further and further north into Minnesota, it's not necessarily ideal rough grouse cover. So
Yeah.
You're gonna be walking into water, or you're gonna be walking into some
Bogs.
sort of boreal type cover. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Do you guys get into spruce grouse when you get up there? If you go farther north?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Never seen one of them.
Rohan on camera.
Sure, go on. He's napping.
I did the longest Northwoods rough grouse hunt I ever did last year. It was 6.5 hours, and that was like it was basically all day. I was with my buddy, Ted Summer, who we had on here, and this was in Wisconsin, and it was again big cover where we parked the truck in the morning and left and made a huge loop. I don't remember how many miles we walked, but we had a really good day, and we got back to the truck, and then he had one more dog in the truck to run, so we did a short run at the end of the day. But that was the longest one I ever did. That's not something that I would try to do every day, just because you don't need to. But I've gotten to be a fan of taking bigger walks, just because I like exploring and I like getting out there and seeing. So if I can line up a couple of objectives or cuts or swamps or whatever that I want to go make a loop past, I like doing that. But
we've a couple times parked a car at one end and come out on the other.
Okay. Yeah.
It hasn't been necessarily more productive. The majority of what I hunt is just cuts. I pick a cut and I hunt a cut, but they can be big, but.
Yep.
I think when Nick gets up here to North Dakota, since that's one of the only bingo squares left, I figured I better, they seem thirsty. Plus Mike B Mike Herder and Brent B are just smoking me over there in the chat, which is pretty fun. But we're definitely gonna have to spot a car on a couple walks up here.
That'd be fun.
They're like, I found one spot that's like 6.5 miles from one end to one end, and I can just see us getting in the middle of it and finishing up our limit and being like, well, which way do we go now?
Yeah,
so.
That's one thing about North Dakota. And again, I've only been there 2 years, but I mean, that's a reality. Like you could wind up with your limit of sharptails pretty quick. Like when things work out well, it can happen. Whereas up here, if you get out of the truck, if you're within a quarter mile of your truck and you move birds,
just turn around, because it does not get better the farther away from your truck that you get. I found this out the other day. I had one of the little puppies out. Oh, I like those tricolors like that.
Yep. That's Rowan's a good looking boy. He's got a half mask too.
I like that dog a lot.
Oh, he's like two-faced. I love it.
Yeah, I like that dog. But I had one of the little puppies out. We got like 250 yards from the truck, and she started like working and went on point, and we moved to brood. It was 3.5 miles before I saw another bird, and I was just stubborn. I was like, this cover's too nice. There's no way there's not birds near it. I just kept on going, and don't do that.
Yeah. Yep. You're always trying to maximize the time you spend in productive cover. And so sometimes you got to make a decision. Do I have to go through some area?
Oh, I just get flat out stubborn. It's like, no. I know there's birds here somewhere, but somewhere it's pretty general. It's a big area.
Randy, what kind of curtains should I get? I don't know what to put up there.
I'm not sure if you want Randy.
This is a garage. This is a garage, Randy. Just as a FYI.
I kind of feel like everybody's just being really mean to us today.
Well, because
they're sassy today.
They're getting so because they feel like, okay, know each other now.
We smoked them with like 9 drinks right off the bat, so they're probably really starting to fill their oats a little bit.
So I'll ask you guys. I guess it doesn't, either Amanda or Bailey want to kick it off, but in your social groups, in your friend groups, do you have a lot of girlfriends or other females in your life that are involved in hunting, whether upland and or big game hunting?
Do you want to go first, Bailey?
Sure. Yeah. Well, in my line of work, yes, just because of the nature of what we do. And, the nice thing, a lot of them are really similar where we're more or less independent hunters. We hunt on our own, but we do get together. A lot of us will get together at, whenever there's some sort of mentored women's hunt. And that's when we get together and take other people out there. But it's also good to see each other. And then just through social media, staying in touch.
That's got to be one thing that social media has been really nice for, is really kind of being able to get together with other people, like in a small group like bird hunters. When you have like an even smaller subgroup like women hunters, and specifically badass women hunters like you two, like it's got to make it a lot easier to actually try to get together with other people that share your same interests.
Yeah, definitely. I know for me,
Another story.
I depend a lot on like, you know, the online community and stuff as far as like, you know, women hunters and everything, because I don't really know that many women around here who hunt, and especially not bird hunt. It's mostly older men. But the community online is really nice. I mean, that's like me and Bayley being able to like connect some and talk about dogs and whatnot. And Amanda, yeah, I made a lot of friends through that.
Bayley, how did you and Bayley get to know each other? Was it through Instagram and everything, or how did you?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't remember how it started, but I want to say like over woodcock, because I was posting stuff on my story about woodcock, and you were asking like, because it was snow covered, and you're like, how are they eating? And I'm like, well, there's these wet spots that they're like congregating to. But yeah, just through Instagram.
Now, have Bayley and Amanda met in person yet, or have they been? No.
I don't know. Ask them.
No, not yet. No, that's Amanda's coming up in October, so we're headed on the books.
But prior to that, it was just Instagram and chatting and what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I met Bayley. Like I didn't know who Bayley was, and you have no idea how these connections happen, right? But then all of a sudden, oh, she's hunting grouse and she lives right near me. And now, you know, we've crossed paths plenty of times at Pine Ridge Grouse Camp and at Pint Nights and stuff around here. But I mean, just like you said, Tyler, as far as like, we're a small group of people, niche upland bird hunters, and the ability to kind of key in on that network and figure out who the people are in your area, that goes a long ways as far as develop. I mean, obviously friendships are one, but number two, you're talking to other hunters in your area. You're gathering information. I mean, it's been a big part of I would say my hunting network in the last however many years.
It certainly helped me go to other states and really helped flatten the learning curve.
Yeah,
like, that's what makes it like that's the best thing about it, as far as I'm concerned. It's also the only thing that actually makes me believe in like the Facebook and Instagram algorithm that obviously there's something to it, because it is actually connecting us with other people like us. I mean, it's not just all like mean political bullshit. It's all, you know, it's also kind of awesome in certain ways.
Yeah,
but like I would have never going over to Michigan to hunt rough grouse. Do you know how scary that would have been without going with people that I met through social media and Ron's podcast? So I don't think I ever would have done it. I probably would have went to Minnesota first and probably invaded some of your covers. And
okay.
A bunch of money and gas.
Yeah.
Michigan can be scary when you live here.
Michigan is scary. Yeah. Very daunting.
When you, I know that social media has kind of connected most of, I think, just about everybody on here. I can officially say that I've met through social media in one form or the other. Do you guys find, because you're very active on social media, that you have a lot of other women reaching out to you and asking you tons of questions and looking for advice of getting started and getting into the hunting, whether it's about the dogs or about the hunting specifically?
Yeah, occasionally. It's more about the dogs than the hunting, but that always comes along with it.
Yeah, definitely.
George, by the way, George, those are my crickets. Those of you who are here,
they're like crystal clear.
Yeah,
it's a good microphone.
Your podcast doesn't have that good of audio. We can hear your crickets in your closet.
I know. Yeah, well, I think they're on the shelf right behind me. I pipe them in for aesthetics.
Any chance you can mute the crickets?
What's that?
Could you mute the crickets?
Hey,
Tyler, we all know that you can't run a soundboard. You're not piping anything into anything.
That's funny.
Amanda, you were starting to say, so the ones that are reaching out to you, do you find it's typically around the dogs themselves rather than what you're hunting? What type of questions do you find are kind of the most common?
Well, recently it's like training stuff, because I've been sharing a lot of stuff that I've been doing with Rohan, and I'm by no means a pro. I just, refer to the notes I've taken over the years and like And even, through what I've been sharing, I've had other people that I follow and look up to reach out to me, hand me advice and stuff, and that's appreciative. But yeah, a lot of it is just dog training. A lot of people are interested that really don't even have dogs or just kind of interested in it. So that's why I've been sharing it, although I don't know what I'm doing, and it's my first time really training a puppy, and I always warn them, I'm like, it's my first, but here's what I'm doing, and it seems to be working for me. But
well, I want to ask you then, what the Wime was pretty much kind of trained by your dad or trained on the wild birds. What path have you taken for this setter? It's 7 months. It's just about time to start, doing some obedience. And what did you go to YouTube? Did you go to a book? What did you do to start saying, like, I know I got to do some training with this dog? What's the path right now?
Gosh, it's just like a little bit of everything. My dad has helped me a tremendous amount, and listening to podcasts and reading magazines and, watching other people on Instagram. And I have, I'm saving everything, and I've just been doing that for such a long time, and I've kind of have it organized. And I don't know. I don't so far as much as like take it all in. I just take what I feel like resonates with me and take bits and pieces here and there. And yeah, just kind of doing it that way. And with Rohan, I just feel like I'm taking a real natural route. Like, we've done a lot of obedience training and stuff, and I've introduced him to gunfire and birds and everything. And I'm really just kind of encouraging him to do it naturally. And so far he's been great. So, I'm going to go this season and see how he does on wild birds and how much that they'll teach him. And then starting next year, we'll start from there and really, do more work on steadying him up and stuff.
Well, that's a good path. I mean, there's no point at that age, you're not going to get that much obedience. But yeah, I was just wondering if you just, some people say, well, I got Walter's book on gun dogs, or I got those books. And one's another. But it's always interesting where, like, when I started, there was a couple books out there. You guys are all half my age.
When you started, they were writing on stone tablets.
It's true. And they were heavy to carry. I mean,
you don't move those things. Yeah.
No, it's
not a page turner.
No, you flip the rock over and you saw what was. But we didn't, like, I'm looking at everybody here, and you're all about the same age, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't have a lot of stuff. So, we just kind of poked around aimlessly because I couldn't read, so I mean, I was just curious if you really haven't stuck to one thing. You're just kind of gleaning a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And listen to my podcast and listen to Justin McGrail is probably the best thing.
I was just going to say, we need to get another square here. I was in the car yesterday, Ron, and I listened to the episode you posted with Justin that was a repeat. And I mean, every episode that you've ever done with Justin McGrail, as far as I'm concerned, should be required listening for basically any pointing dog owner. Like, as far as all of the stuff, all of the ridiculous stuff that you hear and read and see that gets carried forward, he kind of like dispels all that. And then, I mean, he just has a way of, like, he's probably just like was made to be a dog trainer, like how straightforward and like even keeled he is, and just makes so much sense. But like, we have the opposite problem now, Ron. We got too much stuff, and it's hard to filter through all that. So like, to have somebody that you can trust, like Justin, like, okay, this guy's seen it, he's done it. Like, you need a constant source where you can say, all right, this is like my anchor. Like, I know what he's saying is legit, so now I can reference all this other stuff and not get too far off track.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, Bayley, like, you've gone to the training extremes where you're like certified for woodcock banding and everything else. How did you get into all that, and where did you get your knowledge base from?
A lot of wild birds.
Yeah.
Luckily. I went to a few NAVDA clinics for studying up the Munsterlander, because I just didn't I was fortunate to get him like pointing, because I know that can be a problem with that breed, and probably especially with new handlers. But he was reliably pointing, but that steadiness was confusing. That the big green book of NAVDA only tells you so much advice, and so I went to a few clinics for some one-on-one, handling or work with pigeons, things like that. And I hadn't been to anything like that before. And then reading and really just not asking for advice on Facebook, because it's not the place to get it. And I have a couple of versatile dog books. Yeah, I was still reading paper books, I guess, for the most part then. And I don't think, none of your guys' podcasts were out then. So this is all relatively new, what you guys are talking about. But I think it's great. It certainly helped, as I moved on to my second dog, or pointing dog.
And Bayley, I know that you were helping out with the NAVDA test, but are either of you participating actively in any of the either UKC, AKC, NAVDA type clubs and doing training days with groups?
No, I'm not.
I'm pretty remote up here. I'll drive over and spend a weekend helping when I can, but I haven't. And as far as testing goes, I don't know. I did the Munsterlander. Test it. I'm not a testing type person. It's not really for me. I think the real validation is.
Bayley, when you went to school, did you just tell the teacher you didn't want to take? Because I can really relate to that.
Yep.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma'am. I prefer not to test myself.
No, I guess so. I knew what I wanted to do, and I got in and got out. That's been my motto all along.
What all goes into the woodstock banding? Like what time of the year are you doing that? Is that spring?
There's a pliers and there's a little band. And then
how little?
It's a size 3. It's very small.
Size 3. Okay.
Small the band on this cigar. Very small.
It's got to be smaller than that. That's a big cigar.
Oh wait, hang on.
You can't forget about the as Earl Johnson would like to say, the mesh negligee bag. Got to have one of those.
I still like to know why I can't.
No way.
Look at that.
Teeny. Is that what? Did you shoot one that you actually banded?
No, I didn't shoot one I banded. I shot one somebody else banded. But real small. And so what goes into it? Like your dog just has to be really reliably steady. It can't give in to any urge or impulse to catch the hen, because when they do their flutter flight, they'll only land sometimes 5 to 10 feet away, and so easily catchable, and it's by design because they're trying to draw you away. And so they need to be reliably steady, whether you see them, bumping birds happen still, but whether you walk up and he's still pointing the hen either on eggs, or they need to be okay with you picking them up and moving them back. And
is that June, July? Like, what's the time frame on that?
May, June.
Oh, okay. They hatch out that early, huh?
Very early.
Really?
Very early.
They start nesting right away when they come back.
This year they were chicks on the ground in April.
Wow. No way. That's crazy. What happens if you guys get a Minnesota snowstorm, which is not out of the realm of possibility for April and May?
Not
good. It's just a higher mortality or a re-nest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why we have years like this where I think we're going to be seeing a pretty good hatch, because we didn't have that. We didn't have a lot of precip in this early summer. We didn't have a lot of late snow.
Yep.
What's the number of bands? So I don't know how, like, the number, I guess the ratio of bands that they get put on over the course of time that actually get reported back to you. I mean, do you see a lot of data come back from those?
Yeah. So Michigan has a bigger program with more volunteers and a slightly higher success rate on return bands than Minnesota, who has a much smaller program that has been running for less time, but our return rate is like 2 to 3% in Minnesota, but up in Cass County, where it's higher public land and where we do our banding program, it's 7%. So it just shows that if you're spending more time on public lands and areas that are hunted, more popular for hunting, the band return rate can be much higher.
Do they come back to the same places every year?
Yep. Yeah, most bands, I think like 75% of bands are returned within a mile of where they were banded.
Would you have been upset if that one that you shot was one that you banded? Or would you have been like, wouldn't it have mattered?
Well, just a high, I mean, I was pretty certain it wasn't for me because I hadn't banded in that cover, but I know who banded it, and I didn't think she had found any in that cover. In fact, I was taking Hatchet, the setter, in to find grouse because I knew she had said she parked next to a hen on a nest, and so I thought I'd go try to find those grouse.
Ah, cheating. I like it. Good for you.
For anybody that's interested, there was just a recent American Woodcock Society / Project Up and Film on woodcock banding that was released publicly featuring Bayley Peterson. So people can go check that out and get a little inside look at what it looks like with Mogi, the small Munsterlander, out in the woodcock banding woods in Minnesota.
I will.
Self-promotion.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely shamelessly promoting Project Upland and, more importantly, the American Woodcock Society. No more freeloaders, guys. Right, Ron?
What do I say now? This is going to be a common thread. I challenge Tyler and Nick on your podcast. Take a wild bird from the environment. If you take a resource, you owe it to the conservation group that supports that bird.
It's a small price to pay.
Small price. Pheasant hunt, you damn well better be a member of Pheasants Forever. Quail hunt, same thing. Rough grouse hunt, woodcock hunt, you better be a member. I'll key scratch your truck and I'll flatten your tire. I don't care. I don't care.
Ron, you're such an asshole.
But I'm old and I can be an asshole.
Yeah, you can. You guys, we're just about at the top of the hour here, so I think this would be a good spot to take a break and come back right at 9 o'clock.
All right.
Does that sound good?
Oh, I got to get a fan on me. I'm melting.
All right. We'll be right back.
Sounds good. Yeah.
What?
What's all the noise? Hey.
Tyler's whining again.
It's totally me. Yeah.
I'm so glad that they put the letters of which ear these need to go into because I seem to get that confused every single time.
It shouldn't be that hard.
L means left. L means left. L means left. I think I need to make that video a little bit longer. Definitely not long enough. My math is a little off. Ron, is that your dog?
There's Miller.
Oh, Miller.
Oh, there he goes. Kathy just comes right up the middle and she's like, hold me on my lap. She's a pain in the ass.
But she's really cute.
She is. Look at her face.
She's so adorable.
She's looking at you like, what in the hell are you doing?
Oh.
Well, that is a sweetie. Look at that.
Look at those ears.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you,
So,
Dad.
Ron, here's the magic question. What have you done with her since you brought her home?
What's that?
I said, what have you done with her since you brought her home from Jordan's?
Not a damn thing. No, actually, I took her out to the grounds and we put her on a chucker, and she flushed it and she chased it, and I blew the whistle really hard, and she put her foot down on the ground and watched it fly.
Nice.
She did sit?
Oh yeah, she sat. She sat them. Well, she should have sat when the bird got up, but she started running, and I had to remind her that she shouldn't run. So we overlaid the collar with her a little bit, but I'm not gonna do a lot of work with her. I'm gonna take her and Miller to North Dakota, and
we're gonna get to do some dove retrieving with her at least.
well, that's one of the things I want to do with her. So dove season will open up while I'm there, and get her. I'll just sit her down, hold her, and get her to be a little steady. And it's a chore, I mean, it's like you think like, well, it's a flushing dog, it's a hunting dog, but it's a different deal.
Well, I'm sure you'll have her ruined before you get to home from North Dakota.
There's no doubt about that.
For sure, yeah.
I'm looking
forward to seeing her go into one of the ditches one evening and flushing a bunch of huns.
All we got to do is road hunt, and when we see birds go in a ditch, she's getting out.
Absolutely. Something's going to happen. It may not be good, but those birds are coming out of that ditch.
Just like Paul's dog.
Well, see, if it was Paul's dog, I would pretend that I saw a bird and it would actually be a skunk, and we'd let the dog out, and then it would be a whole different thing.
Everybody's stupid scented candles.
Live, or are we just?
Yeah. Oh no, I should have probably told you that we're
rolling.
I'd still like to know why I can't see Bayley on my screen.
You can't?
No, I haven't seen her the whole show.
Oh,
jeez.
No.
Oh, you're really missing out.
Yeah.
Just my internet.
It's
probably the combination of both. Would be my guess. Maybe
we're 20 episodes into this, and we still can't figure things out. So
that's
Doug's
problem.
What's that?
That's
Doug's problem.
Doug's problem.
You scared him away.
Where did go? He left. Now what are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Hurt his feelings.
So Nick, tell us more about this film that you guys did with Amanda. I'm interested.
Well, Amanda will have to tell you about it because I haven't seen it. I've only seen teases of it, and in the if people check out the Project Upland season 5 trailer, they'll see some snippets of it. And Adam Regier, who was on here, I don't know that.
Can you get it to Doug and we can show it on here? Show the snippet?
Well, Doug can find it. Yeah, I can send the link. It would actually be kind of cool because they really feature the painting that's behind Amanda there. I don't know if AJ or Adam cut the film together, but it's pretty cool the way that it's there, and that's kind of a sneak peek on Amanda's Rose is awake now. I'll send Doug that link though. Amanda, tell us about it.
Well, Adam came down here for a week, and him, me, my husband Sam, and then my dad, we all, grouse hunted all week long, and then, he featured me like finishing up the painting and everything, and it was a really fun week. And the weather was insane. Like, it went from being hot to pouring the rain, And then like one day it was like covered with snow, and I'm like, dude, it's gonna look like you've been here like a month. It was insane. But Adam was super nice guy, and I'm really excited to see what he's done with it because I think he got a lot of good stuff. So had to stay tuned and see the rest.
Can we get a close up of the painting?
Is there any way you can pull your? Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm kind of scared to move it
That's fine.
because it's huge.
Amanda, is that oil? Is it just past?
Yeah.
What is it? Is
Yeah,
it
it's
oil?
oil paints. Yeah, I've been dabbling with oils for the past like couple years, and I really like it. I'm real familiar with like charcoal, graphite, and pencils and whatnot, but I've been really, exploring with paints, and I really like it a lot. Something I've been wanting to do for a while, but it's intimidating. It's so much to learn.
Are you primarily a commission artist?
This past year, I've been booked up with just nothing but commissions and haven't really been able to work on anything other than commissions. And I've really enjoyed that. But this year, I'm going to try to find more of a balance so I can do some more stuff on the side to sell like originals and whatnot. So, but yes, I'll always do commissions. I love working with people and their dogs.
As long as you have commissions, you're not going to be in the category of starving artists.
Yeah.
Yep.
My wife is a starving artist. Okay. So, yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah. She made more money than I did when I met her, and then we got married and we had kids. And she goes, "I'm going to go back to school, and I'm going to get a BF in sculpture." I'm like, "Great, honey, great." And I still haven't seen the RIO, the return of investment.
On investment, yeah.
ROI.
Thank you, Dick.
Finance guy.
ROI on the sculpture stuff, but she's damn good at it. But it's
as long as she's enjoying it.
She makes some stuff that I am not an art person. But I guarantee you I know more about art than these other three mooks on this screen tonight.
I believe it.
You're getting the ROI on your wife's happiness level, I bet, Ron.
Exactly. There's a 2,000 square foot studio with 4 or 5 kilns in the back of it.
Whoa, that's serious stuff.
It's serious stuff. Yeah.
That you talk about happy wife, happy life. You went above and beyond 5 kilns. That's crazy.
Well, because we had room for the 5th one, so we might as well put a 5th.
So, Amanda, since we are blessed with the presence of Ron Baimon here and somebody who's been around the block a time or two, I'm curious, is there anything that you are looking ahead in Rohan's first season, his development? Is there anything that you're like apprehensive about, worried about, like not sure how to approach certain things?
Oh gosh. Well,
she's got a list on the wall over there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let me get my notebook out. Really, I'm working with him on Woe, and he's pretty good on Woe. But when I first start, I'm going to kind of test him out because I understand like who knows what he's going to do when he's on Wild Birds. I'd imagine he's going to go berserk because he's so bold. But
has he bumped into one yet? Have you had him in Wild Bird cover?
I have, and I haven't been there while he's bumped it, but I'm almost definitely sure he has because there's been a few times where he's like really ranged out and was not recalling, and I would imagine he was on something, and it was right when the cover was getting birdied. So I haven't seen it yet, but
Brian with the win for that comment.
Yeah, I love that. I watched 2 Towers this week. I was messaging with Amanda about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like as far as like woeing him on birds, like is that something that could be a possibility me do during season, or just kind of like see how much he can steady up on his own on Wild Birds?
No.
Because that was my plan, was to wait till next year and just let him just have a blast this year.
I would let him have a blast this year.
Yep.
But just don't. If he would take out, like if he would literally charge in and take out a bird, don't shoot. Just don't shoot.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, and I've learned this. I've been working with Justin for like 8 months on some stuff we're working on, and his biggest thing is like everybody thinks that they can get their dog steady. It's good that you're not trying to steady the dog up now, but the one thing you should work on is recall and whoa. Now, it's got nothing to do with birds. You can steady a dog up on a frisbee. You can steady a dog up on a tennis ball, as Kathy was done. But when it comes to wild birds, as long as your anticipation is not some perfection, you can work. Next spring is a good time to start working obedience. But if you have a dog that's like literally not out of control, but it was like, wow, this dog's crazy, it's dire. Don't think you probably didn't do enough come when called, when it was young. Because everything a dog does, if he does it at 200 or 300 yards from you, he believes it's 100% correct. Because you don't did. So I'd work on like range, keeping them close to you, and come when called. Everything else will be in. That's a point where you want to hunt some wild grouse, and there's not many there. I would find a training group or a dog club where you could try to see what his real behavior is on, where you can watch it.
Yeah.
Because if you're hunting up in the mountains, you have no idea what that dog's doing. You really don't, unless it happens right past you at the moment. Right?
Yeah.
So if you do a whole, there's that saying like the wild birds will teach them, but they'll also teach him to be a crazy maniac.
True.
If all of his fun happens at 300 yards from you, why would you want to be 100 yards from you? He's like, everything good happens out there. So if he gets a little too unnutted, or the lug nut comes off the wheel, back him off a little bit, hunt the lime, and take that dog to a preserve or something. And what I'm saying is, don't let it build a whole season of bad habits.
Yeah. I was wondering about his range because, I want him to kind of eventually, when he's mature, to kind of set his own range. As long as it's not too out of control. And I wasn't sure if I should really work on his range right now while he's young, because I didn't want him. I don't want him to be a pocket dog, but then again, I don't want him to be 400 yards out either. So
I don't think I've ever seen a setter that's a pocket dog. So
I don't think he's going to be.
No, you want a dog that's very connected to you, and if you'd be better off spending the season hacking him into you to make sure he's close, as opposed to, are you using a Garmin or a Dogtra or something for?
Yeah, I'm using an e-collar, and he's really good to check in on me. Like today, he would go out to right at 100 yards to come back and check, but it was just whenever he got on a deer today, and I had to get on him to that, and just stuff like that. And then he doesn't really want to listen, but
they won't. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, how much did we want to listen when we were 7-month-old dog? A 7-month-old dog is the equivalent of a 13 or 14-year-old kid.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you, Amanda, though, is he's checking in, he's keying off you like this. It feels like he wants to go where you want to go.
Yeah, definitely. And that's today when he got really far out, it was, look, it's up. It was, there you go. He got in cover and I'm assuming he may have gotten on a bird. I don't know. He was about 100 yards in, but it was so thick and greenbriers, I can't get in there. And he was recalling back to me and hit the road, and he was backtracking where we had been and just took off, and I could not get him to come back. But to him, he thought he was coming back to me.
He was trying to find it. Yeah, definitely could have been trying to find you. I remember a couple of times with Hartley like that, where we're in this area where there's lots of ski trails, and so as you know, the dogs can really cover some ground on those trails, and we got separated, and he was trying to find me. I could tell he was trying to find me because he would be 300 yards this way, and then he'd be 250 yards that way, it wasn't until we finally caught each other. But I guess from my experience, having a dog that wants to be with you, wants to hunt with you, you can kind of let their range be what it is. But Yeah. But then you always hear I'd be curious what Ron would think about this. People say it's way easier to pull a dog in than it is to push one out, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely is. But that dog that is already out there independent, he's already showing you that you need to get some connection with him.
Yeah.
So everything, like I said, everything a dog does, if he's not corrected while he's doing it, that's just cementing the thought process. It's like, this is what they want. This is what my owner wants. Yeah. My owner wants me to be here. And I've never started, well, I have started a dog in the woods here, but I've never started a dog in the woods with the mountains. You're kind of up against it a little bit. It's it's not easy, but no. I would definitely get to some. Can you find any kind of grassland area, like any kind of, strip mine where there's some cover that's grassy?
Yeah, there's some WMAs locally that they keep, well trimmed and whatnot. So there was this one field we've been using that I've been working with them on with woe and everything, but I've had people tell me that there's a really aggressive sow there with 3 cubs. So I'm kind of intimidated to go there now.
I was going to ask you about bears over there. I was wondering if that was an issue.
Yeah, they're getting real bad.
In my backyard. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and try to play this video.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And
can you put it on full screen, Doug?
Yeah. So I don't know how much of it is of Amanda, but I'll go back and I think I found Bailey's too. So. Does it go?
Now that's a humble brag right there.
That's pretty fantastic.
He did such a great job.
You can't go any bigger on the screen than that, Doug?
I can't, no. Okay. Sorry. That's incredible. And then I know if I get to right here. This is what you get when you don't wear glasses.
Glasses, Doug.
What's that?
Get some glasses.
I have them. I just didn't put them on.
Oh, you young people, you live in denial.
Yeah. All right. Great.
Now who's this?
That's Tyler Sladen.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be so sweet.
There's Shotzi.
Hey.
Yep. There's Shotzi.
Oh, she's a little one.
Yeah, she's tiny.
There's Bayley, woodcock banding.
Nice.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
What were you when you were a kid?
Barely.
I thought we went back to the banding, but I guess not.
Doug, are you effing this up?
Nope, that's it. It's just 2 tiny little.
Oh, that's it. There's no other.
Ooh. I think Nick built it up too much.
Larson.
I said it was the season 5 trailer. Go to the very end is where they really show Amanda's painting, but
we did do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Where were you?
I was letting Rose out. Now she's playing with the empty bottle of lime juice that I used to spice up my tequila drinks. You guys can probably hear that.
Nick, you drink tequila?
Yeah. Do you not?
No.
Why don't you?
Because I like to keep my clothes on after high school.
Tequila makes your clothes fall off. Is that what what's his face said?
Joe Nichols, yeah.
Amanda, how long would a painting like that take?
A long time.
A long time?
Yeah, like a couple of weeks.
Is that pretty normal for most of your commission stuff?
Yeah. The minimum is 2 weeks to get a piece done. It just really depends on the size and how complex and everything it is.
Did you actually see a grouse on a log like that? So you had a picture in your mind, or was that just something that you just thought up?
No, I usually use reference photos, and sometimes I'll use just one, and sometimes I'll combine different elements from different pictures I see in Photoshop and stuff, and kind of create my own painting. But for the most part, I use reference photos.
Okay.
She's gonna turn it into a flashcard for the setter.
A flashcard for the setter.
The setter start making different wild birds that we can see.
Yeah.
So I guess being an hour 2, should we kind of drop the kind of what the big giveaway is? Kind of tease it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Do it up.
So I don't know, Amanda. Why don't you share it?
Well, the giveaway is going to be a custom dog portrait of your gun dog, and it'll be done in graphite. And yeah, I know you guys had like the details on how you wanted to go about doing that.
Yeah. So I want to know if I can win it. Just kidding.
Me too.
He doesn't want to draw labs, Doug. Come on now.
They're very
He's not a
photogenic.
setter. The setters are so much prettier.
They are much prettier. Tyler knows all about pretty things.
I do. Rusty's laying right next to me. He's very, very handsome.
So what we're gonna do is probably tomorrow morning I'm gonna create a post on both Facebook and Instagram. I will maybe steal a image of a graphite drawing that you've done in the past, if that will work. And we're gonna have you comment and invite people that are not currently following us on social media. And for every person that you comment, we're going to give you an entry into it. Because it takes about a week and a half for kind of the full audience to get caught up on the episode. I think we're going to keep it open for probably 10 days. And what we'll do is we'll take all the names, we'll put them in a hat, and maybe we'll try to do an Instagram live with Amanda, and she can make the announcement of who the winner will be. But the go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, the requirements, you've got to be following us. You've got to invite as many friends, and then I'm going to also tag Amanda in it, and you need to make sure that you're following her as well. So it's probably one of the coolest prizes we've gotten to give away.
Definitely.
I'm secretly going to have people enter for me. And if you see a pointing lab win, it's not mine. Just kidding.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just say right now we need to definitely see the final graphite so we know if somebody snuck their dog through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be sharing it all over the place. So we really want to blow it up. So I want to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names tagged. So everybody in your contact. So if you share it on your stories, and then if you tag us in it, we'll increase the chances. And then also if you go over to YouTube when you're all done and leave some sort of a comment on this show, we'll do one entry. So there's lots of chances to win, and I'm super excited.
That's my microphone, Rose.
To see who gets picked. Oh my
She's getting
gosh.
so big.
She is.
She's growing so fast.
She's super leggy right now. She's got long legs.
I like that leg.
Yeah.
That's when they're cute.
She's like small. She doesn't. I don't think she has like the real blocky head that Hartley has, but she's a good looking dog. Don't you think you're pretty good looking, don't you, Rose?
Yeah, she's so pretty.
Yeah. You'll get to meet her in less than a month, Tyler.
Yeah, well, and I'm so lucky because she's going to be out here right after I get rid of one of the puppies, and she's going to be at that asshole stage that these puppies are at right now.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
probably.
so much fun. I'm going to get to watch her go and just run around and scream and be angry like her.
Yeah.
Rock, I don't care if you invented the bingo. I will boot you.
Nick, when are you going out to North Dakota?
I am going out there around like September 16th through the 20th, sometime in that window.
So you'll be there when we drive back through.
Yeah, you have to stop by. I'll be out there with Tall Bunyan, Garrett.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if nothing else, we can meet you guys at the bar in Stanley and have pizza or something.
Cool.
Masks on.
No, not out here.
Tyler pretty much invites everybody that he talks to out to North Dakota. So Amanda, you guys might as well just make the drive out there too.
You can watch your dog chase deer out here for miles. Like when they start chasing deer here, you can just see them going across the.
Oh gosh.
It's not
I
going to
don't know
say
what's
400
worse,
yards.
that or
It'll say
mountain.
4 miles.
I don't know what I don't know why, but Rusty chased a rabbit yesterday for about 150 yards. I just watched him. I was like, God, I wonder how long he's going to go before he realizes he's not supposed to be doing that. It's about 150 yards. I was pretty happy.
When
I gotta
are you
give
getting
it-
rid of your puppy?
What's that?
When are you getting rid of your pups?
Travis is coming to pick up Rosie on Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So I'm very excited. God, there's so much work.
Tyler, I got to ask,
Uh-huh.
why are you getting rid of Rosie
Oh, I am just like, so Rusty's going to be 7. And I had a pretty practical reason.
Short hair, that's why.
No, I'm not even that snobby about that anymore. I was pretty snobby about that for a while, but she's been doing so well that I'm kind of conflicted about it still. But Rusty's going to be 7 this year, and CJ and Bo are just coming into their prime where they're going to be 3. And I originally got CJ to breed with Rusty so I could continue my line because I had both parents of Rusty. I got Rusty, and I want to continue that. And I don't want 5 dogs. I just don't. Like 4 dogs is my limit. So I still want to breed Rusty, but I want to wait for like 2 years until the other dogs are like 5. And so this was just terrible timing. It was a total accident, and my German dog is a rapist, and there's nothing I can do about that. I was really not excited about it when it happened, and the puppies are such good-looking little dogs, and they're very, very nice dogs. They're just at that stage right now where they drive me crazy. Like they do not want to listen. They're like 5 months old. They want to go and run around and play grab ass and do anything other than listen to dad. And so like I have been like, I need a refill on my Valium and vodka prescription. Like it's been terrible. But no, like, when I take them out by themselves, and I've been running them on wild birds, they're both finding and pointing birds, and they're like they want to always have something in their mouth. They swim like fish, so they're going to be really nice dogs. Just terrible timing. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a story. You're gonna stick to it.
Well, yeah. I'm not gonna change my story now. Like I had weeks to craft that, so.
So a question just popped up about anybody has strong thoughts about shooting rabbits over pointers.
Shameless plug for the most recent episode of the Hunting Dog Podcast. Justin McGrail covered it very well. But Ron, why don't you talk about that one?
Well, see, me personally, if my dog points a rabbit, I shoot it.
Really?
Yeah, I've shot rabbits over my wire hair. Shot rabbits over Bravo. I don't care.
And what is it that we are telling the dog when we do that? If we shoot the rabbit over the dog, we are then saying that's okay, right?
Yeah.
What we're saying is, like, we're out here hunting for meat, and if I'm not going to shoot when it's just the dog's running after, but if he points it, I've shot several rabbits over Bravo and Zygon over the years. Doesn't bother me a bit, but. Old school hunter, old school people, you got to realize some of these myths are from like, well, if you start shooting rabbits for your pointing dog, he's going to quit pointing. Pointing is an instinct. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It just doesn't go away. You got to remember, all these dogs came from Europe, right? They all came. We haven't developed a good dog in this country ever. Okay, they all came from Europe. And you go to Europe, and they shoot rabbits like crazy over their setters and pointers and wire hairs and short hairs. They shoot the hell out of rabbits.
You should have seen it down in Arizona last year. I had I think there was 2 people down there with draughts and 1 person with a poodle pointer, and everybody came out of that field completely loaded down with rabbits, and they had so much fun doing it. Now, I'm like, my dogs weren't in the field, and I don't know if I've never even thought about it, I guess. I just, like, usually when I'm bird hunting, I'm so focused on bird hunting that I'm not paying attention to rabbits, but I guess I wouldn't have any problem with it as long as the dog was far enough away. Can you make a dog steady to flush on rabbits?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That would be my only problem with it, I think.
I take a problem if my dog is tracking a running grouse and they gets off on a hare track. And that was a problem when he was young. And since he's a Munsterlander, you'll know if he gets off on a hare track because he'll be making noise. And
he goes loud on fur.
He used to. Now he just continues on the grouse track. I didn't discourage it. I just never necessarily encouraged it. And
yeah, you didn't
reward it. It's not really a problem anymore. Yeah. It wasn't a problem before, and I would shoot a pointed hare if I felt like it was safe, but it's pretty thick cover, and I don't really get a good glimpse of them for very long.
Sure.
At what age did you find that the dog started or stopped doing that? or was just interested in about it? Was that after a bunch of kills or grouse kills?
Probably his third season. First season being quite young, second season being a mix of chasing hares and getting off grouse tracks, and third season pretty strong on grouse.
Yeah, I would be pissed if my dog chased.
That was your Munsterlander?
Correct. Yeah, the setter was just his first season last year, and he points everything, hares and robins.
Amanda, is your Weimaraner? Are they big on fur? Your Weimaraner, or are they just birds?
Mostly just birds. I mean, he doesn't, pay much attention to anything else. But I mean, I shot a rabbit over last year, and she retrieved it. But
I wonder if Rusty would retrieve a rabbit. Now I'm very curious. I'm gonna have to go and try to find one. Like in
covered in fleas when he's
months.
done.
Well, it'll be a couple months away. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it now. It's 95 degrees outside.
Funny story. My dad actually was grouse hunting once, and a turkey flew over him, and he shot it. Jotzi literally retrieved that turkey. She had it by its neck and was like dragging that thing, and it was as big as she was. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yeah.
Did he shoot it on the wing?
Best. Yeah.
Awesome.
With probably with 7.5s too. That's not a classic turkey load, but yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Did I tell my first turkey hunt story?
Yeah, we don't need that 20-minute story again.
Oh yeah, that was something about like a stone rock pile or something, wasn't it?
Right. Whatever. We don't.
Yeah. I mean, we could get another square, I guess, but Ted Summer on the road. They got you hustling on the road, buddy. Good to see you checked into the hotel, I guess.
That guy's he's not even working. He's just out scouting for grouse.
He's a Forest Service guy now.
Right. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly like as soon as he quit working for himself, he quit working. Like he's out there, he's milking the clock, and he's out there driving around looking for birds.
Yeah, that's code for grouse scouting.
Out of there's probably 4 people in the world that I'd really like to have their Onyx pins, and Ted may be one of them. I don't even like hunting rough grouse that much, but if I had his pins, I might try a little harder.
He's got a few, but then you'd have to come over and hunt Wisconsin, Tyler.
I know. I've never hunted Wisconsin. I've hunted Minnesota and Michigan, but I don't like the Packers very much, so they don't welcome me.
I don't either. I kind of fly under the radar over there.
Yeah. I do like cheese and beer, but no Packers.
Both good. Both excellent.
100%.
Hey, Doug, I'm going to ask you something. A couple days ago, you said, can you get some data on NAVDA statistics of women in NAVDA? And
yes.
I sent it to you.
Did you look at any of that data?
Yes, I did. And before I sent it to you.
I know the math is probably kind of hard for you, but.
No, it's not that hard. It was very obvious. But in NAVDA, our percentages of women in NAVDA are way higher than the percentage of women buying hunting licenses.
I was actually really surprised. I don't know what's the take rate. I guess what's the ratio of hunting licenses?
Oh yeah, you said it was 80-20 in NAVDA, right?
Yeah. So, and I honestly, I thought we'd see a continuous increase year over year, but so from 2017 till 2020, it looked like a pretty consistent 80-20 split. Now there were some years that it kind of, maybe it got up into 21-22%, which is actually quite a bit higher than I thought it would be, which is really encouraging. But I honestly thought that we going back even further, that we see it beginning to, to increase year over year. Nick, what are you doing?
That dog is a mauling.
Yeah, she's back on the floor.
She was trying to eat his hand here a few minutes ago.
She's pretty teethy, more so than I think Hartley was, but
yeah, she'll probably retreat better.
She could, yeah.
I would like to ask Amanda in West Virginia. You say you just kind of briefly last couple of years. Have you just grabbed a dog and got in the truck or the car and just gone out and hunted by yourself?
I've done a lot of my hunting with my dad, and then me and my husband go hunting, by ourselves. But a lot of my hunting has been under, my dad's wing and him kind of showing me the ropes and everything. But, it's like one thing being with somebody and kind of depending on them making decisions. And then when you're out on your own, I mean, that's just like how you plan to walk a cover, to cover it. Stuff like that, I guess it's just stuff you learn with experience. Because
is it intimidating for you, or is it just is it?
Yeah, it's intimidating because, there's not that many grouse, so you have to be. I feel like in the perfect cover, and it's kind of difficult finding out what that is because it seems to be different than what it used to be. And then hunting solo, there's some areas that I wouldn't be comfortable going to by myself because they're kind of rough areas. But besides that,
are we talking about deliverance? I'm just not.
Have you seen Wrong Turn?
Oh yeah,
I have. That's a solid movie, actually.
Yeah, supposedly it was based on an area around here that we actually grouse hunt. Yeah.
I was when I was watching that movie, I was not thinking at all about rough grouse cover, but looking back in hindsight, there may have been decent spots there along that creek. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We have women on the show tonight, and it'd be good to get a piece of their mindset to say they're not. Are they? They're not. I don't think Amanda's scared of some canoers, doing anything or intimidating them. But is it still you need someone to be with you, or are you just ready to say, hey, screw it, I'm just going by myself?
This year I plan on going by myself a lot. I'm not gonna never not go by myself.
Right.
The past several years leading up, I've been really dependent on my dad and learning and everything, and then also on his dog. He has a pointer, man, and she's insane in the woods. And Shotzi's good. She's a little pocket dog, but she doesn't have the drive if she's not in birds. She'll get bored, and then she just kind of thinks we're going for a nice little walk in the woods. Right. But if we're in birds, and she is just busy, and this year, with Rohan, I plan on doing things a lot differently, and I'm trying to do more research with mapping and stuff this year too. And I'm still really new to that, so trying to find new covers.
When you say rough, are you talking about the terrain is rough, as in elevate, a lot of elevation gain and loss? Yeah,
the terrain, and then we have some it seems like grouse congregate around sketchy towns, so
rural areas.
Yeah, and there's never any cell service, so I just have my little Garmin inReach.
I'm thinking the same thing. I've got 3 daughters, and one of them has ventured out on her own. Now we're talking about Midland, Michigan, but she called me up one time and she wanted to go on. She called me up. She says, "Dad, get on. What's that chat room on Androids? Snapchat."
I think it's on all phones, Ron.
It's a chat room. I thought you were going to say instant messenger. AIM.
She Snapchatted me and she says, "Dad, does this look like good cover?" And I'm like,
"Nice."
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, it looks like good cover." I said, "But you just keep walking."
Hey, there's Kelsey's watching right now.
Oh, is Kelsey on there?
Yeah.
There's my daughter. There's my daughter. And I was really proud of her. I mean, she took her lab out and she's like, "Dad, it looks kind of good," but she and I couldn't get Snapchat figured out because I'm an idiot. and I'm like, and then she found some woodcock, and then later on, her and her husband went out there, but she found that cover by herself. And and I'm not trying to be like, it's intimidating, but it's just almost like you just have to just say, "Screw it, I'm going. I'm just going. I'm not going to worry about it." But for a girl, and I'm again, is the dad of 3 daughters, and I will kill anybody that ever looks at my daughter sideways. Do you have any apprehensions of going out there with your dog, or are you ready to just go out there and just deal with it?
In some areas, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some areas, especially like locally, but if I'm somewhere where it's like out in the middle of nowhere, there's not a lot of people. Usually public lands are okay. Where we hunt like in cold country is what I'm referring to, where it can be kind of more rough. But yeah, there's definitely areas where like I wouldn't personally feel comfortable being there on my own. But
everybody in Minnesota is nice. So Bayley doesn't have any problems with it, right?
Yeah, you need to go.
I rarely see people when I'm out, so
fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I get nervous. I'll go into places. I'm like, there's some what we call in Michigan, we call them Jack Pine savages. Okay, I don't know if they're running a meth lab or a pot growing thing. So I'm like, I don't see anybody near me. Damn it, I don't know if I'm safe.
yeah.
The only place I'd ever felt comfortable was in Kansas because they're a little bit too religious and they don't drink hard liquor. So I had a real hard time with that. Those people are sketchy.
Kansas, I mean, how drunk could they get? Yeah.
Right. I had to drive 125 miles to find a good bottle of scotch one day. It was serious. If I would have known that, I would have brought it from here.
Oh boy.
We had a couple questions pop up. First one was for Amanda. What's late season grouse hunting look like for you? Is it trucking through tons and tons of snow? Is it not snow on the ground yet?
Yeah, we usually get snow, but it's not a ton of snow. I mean, like in higher elevations, they'll keep snow like a few inches, but it's not that bad. Especially the past couple of years, it's been really, really mild. Maybe like 5 years ago or so, we had some really bad winters, and that's when grouse were doing really good, actually. And since then, the numbers haven't been so well. But
does West Virginia have one of the late seasons that like goes into February kind of thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
through February. Yeah, and they actually did a survey this year, having people vote on that, like whether they wanted to keep that late season or maybe split it up with like rifle season or something. But I don't think anything, came from it. Anything changed.
Yeah.
Bayley, there's a question that popped up for you. Is asking about woodcock migration and where do they typically spend their winters?
Our birds from Minnesota almost exclusively winter in Louisiana, but they'll across the Northland migrate from Texas to the Carolinas.
It's crazy that such a little bird can fly so far.
Yep.
So Bayley, maybe you have an answer for me, but the first time I ever hunted with Ron and my crazy Michigan friends, they shot a woodcock about 15 miles from where I'm sitting right now. They came out of a CRP field.
Which is crazy.
I
Did it
still
just
think it was
get
a
lost?
snipe. I've heard your story. I think it's a snipe.
Nope. These guys, I got pictures. I'll find them. I will find them on Facebook and I'll send them.
That would be good to see the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, but I swear to God, I thought that they had, and we have a season here. So anybody who's thinking that we broke the law, we didn't.
Really? There's even a season.
There
it's
is.
all of North Dakota because across from Fargo, there's still
I suppose.
population.
Yeah.
Sure. And from what I understand, like up in the Turtle Mountains where there's rough grouse, I'm sure there's probably some sort of a woodcock population, I would assume. I mean, like that's a lot more typical woodcock cover as far as I don't know shit about woodcock at all. But I swear to God, I thought that they had forgot it in their vest from a week prior. And like I was standing about 100 yards away up on top of a hill, and I saw this thing. It came up right out of a CRP field next to like a little marshy area, and it did the whole flutter thing and everything else. And he shot it, and I was like, "What the hell is he doing?" Like that's not like if it would have got up in front of me, I wouldn't have even known it was. Now that I shot one over in Michigan a couple years ago, and it's that's what it was. But I will find pictures. But I couldn't believe it. Did it just get lost?
Well, I don't know how far west they are in Canada, and if it took a weird route.
Yeah, that's
south.
a good point.
Sure. I like if you go straight north of me about 3 hours, I think I've heard there's really good grouse numbers up in the Moose Jaw Provincial Park. I think that's about 3 hours straight north of me. There's like a bunch of mountains and stuff up there. So maybe they're there, I guess. I have no idea, but it was bizarre.
It's another question that popped up. So Amanda, I know you kind of answered this, but maybe Scotty's late to the party. But how do you typically hunt West Virginia? I hunt Eastern Kentucky, and I mainly hunt the mining roads and creek bottoms, and that's kind of what you were saying too earlier.
Yeah, that's what I'm really familiar with is hunting the mining strips and whatnot.
Did you start hunting with your dad at an age where you could remember where there was good numbers of rough grouse in West Virginia, or do you just kind of hear about the old days?
Well, I definitely hear about the old days because I guess they've been going down for years. Yeah. But like when I was young, it was enough grouse to keep a kid's attention. We were always flushing grouse. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So just in the past, even when we got Shotzi, there was way more grouse. In the past just 10 years, it's really, really gone down.
What's changed?
I don't know. I don't know because like where we hunt a lot on a lease, and they're timbering and mining, and there's tons and tons of habitat, and like even there the numbers are going down, and I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like hunting pressure or I don't know what it is.
There is cutting, there is early successional forest.
Yes.
Yeah
but I know that at a higher level, that part of the country, like the percentage of early successional forest is really, really low. Like it never meets the forest plans for the national forest. So maybe it's a situation where that habitat's great on that private piece, but the good quality habitat has become too separated, and there's not enough connectivity to maintain good, healthy populations. That would be it. I hear about it a lot just with my involvement with the Rough Grouse Society and stuff, but I haven't. My eyes haven't been there, so I don't.
This may be something that Bayley can answer, but in areas like that, and in some of those other states that have kind of a little bit lower population of rough grouse, is there a concern about a DNA or a genetic bottleneck where they're not going to be like able to reproduce anymore?
I don't know that it's that close.
Okay.
Just the nature of gallinaceous birds. I don't think, I don't know how many or how close they can be. Just knowing chickens, that they can fertilize anything and hatch out.
Sure.
But it certainly could be limiting, and it could limit clutch size.
That's what I was curious about. Yeah, like at some point you would think that if they got like if it was so stacked up that maybe they would start producing smaller and smaller broods to a point where it just you couldn't ever get ahead of the curve.
Maybe. My guess is that it's still largely habitat related, and then hunting pressure a little bit, predation probably a little bit, and then who knows what kind of factor weather's played the last decade.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, you said that like the couple of the really or the better years that you've had have been where there's a lot more like harder winters. Is that like I what little I know about rough grouse, and I listened to your podcast, Nick, with the Heller boys the other day, and that seems to be pretty across the board. Like they like that snow for snow roosting, but in West Virginia, wouldn't it be warm enough where they'd start getting a crust on that snow, or like what?
This is just total speculation, but I would suspect that those birds are slightly differently adapted. I don't know what kind of snow levels you get there, Amanda. Like obviously the higher you go, the more snow you get, so you might have that, but what you don't want is frigid cold with bad roosting snow. If it's super cold, and so like I don't think they're getting the sub-zero temperatures that we get up in this part of the country.
I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Is RGS pretty active in West Virginia, Amanda?
Yeah, a little bit. I know we recently got a new director, I believe.
Yeah, there's a forest conservation director down there now. We have it started in Monterey, West Virginia, I believe. So they have a long history and heritage in that part of the country. There's chapters down there. There's volunteers. But the habitat work, I've heard many, many people say that you need lawyers more than you need loggers, because there is a totally different versus where we're at in the Great Lakes. There's a totally different sentiment when it comes to forest management in that part of the country. And again, I'm just speaking from what I've seen and heard. I'm not there, but
have you hunted West Virginia, Ron?
Yeah, but it's been up in the northwestern or the northeastern side of West Virginia, Franklin County, and there's some really good hunting. They're really good, but it's just so different. You take what they call tram roads, which were the old logging roads. They had literally you think about little. Everybody had a train car, right? When you were a kid, you had a little train set.
Sure.
So the logging roads had these little miniature train cars to bring the logs down. And there's these tiered, almost like, I guess you call them tiered roads that you could be on the side of a mountain, and it's like flat walking, but then to your right it's a drop off, and to your left it's an upside. And those tram roads had a lot of regrowth, and the railroad tracks are all gone. The timbers are all gone. And it's very productive. It can be very productive.
Cool.
Amanda, there was a question that's popped up. How long does mining reclaim take to become bird habitat? So is that something that you have experience with or be able to answer?
Yeah, I don't know like the exact years. I think it's like in the 8 to 10 range. 8 to 10 years. But
is that something that happens a lot? I mean, I guess what you say, what I'm at, and maybe this is clarification for me, when they say mining reclaim, they've done this good mining and it's abandoned now, and they're just letting it go back to natural habitat. Is that essentially what they're asking?
Is that what they're asking?
No, I'm wondering. I'm asking. I'm wondering if that's maybe what they're asking. Because once they've done the mining, what's how long does it take?
Shawnee's comment. I'm sorry.
What's that?
I saw that. I'd love to see my wife on 103 with Ron. We'll get bitch slapped. Probably.
You just have to buy her another kiln.
And that's why Sue's not on the Hunter's Happy Hour.
I know, I'm not sure how your guys' reclamation process works over there, but we have a lot of coal mine stuff here. And in fact, my buddy and friend of all of ours, Wes Larrabee, is actually here right now. He works for a coal mine in Wyoming. And their reclamation is
up there right now?
Yeah, he's sitting outside on the deck right now.
Why is he not on camera?
Yeah, he can come say hi.
Yeah, I'll go get him here in a minute.
Okay.
But their reclamation is really intense. Like they have to match hills and everything else. I'm wondering if it's kind of the same out there on a mountainside, if they have to, kind of do that same thing, or if it's just more.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with it. I know they do a lot of work as far as water and everything, and making sure it doesn't get washed out and everything, and putting roads in. But yeah, I'm not really up to date on that. Okay.
I'm gonna go get Wes and make him come on here and finish this up. I'll be right back.
Do it. Bayley, we didn't talk a lot about you being a wildlife biologist, but
it's okay.
I mean, I don't know how deep. I think we kind of picked up on the woodcock banding and stuff, but you spend a lot of time in the field, and so I feel I always look to you as far as just having your kind of finger on the pulse of what's going on in the woods, and not asking you to make any bold predictions here, but what have you been seeing in the woods when you've been running the dogs lately?
Yeah, I've been seeing some stuff.
What was your opinion on the spring and summer conditions? Because
I think it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. I think the grouse got on eggs early, and they didn't have a lot of severe weather this year, both in terms of heat and which heat doesn't really bother them, but we got pretty dry to a point where I was starting to worry about bugs a little bit, but it doesn't look like that was a limiting factor at all. And then we've had some heavy rains, but the birds I've been seeing are about adult size, and they just need to get some feathers filled in. Everything's looking really good.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
howdy, Wes.
Hey, fellas.
Miss you, buddy.
Tyler, you look so different.
Lost a little weight.
Oh, you're better looking than Tyler.
Except for we can barely see you. Need a phone book.
There you go.
That better?
There you go.
You been chasing birds out there, buddy?
Yeah, for about 5 days here now. been pretty good.
What are you seeing?
Well, the first
It's been
couple days, yeah, we've just been getting up right at daylight, heading out of here about 6:30 in the morning, run till about 8:30, 9 o'clock, make one good big long walk. We haven't, first 2 days, me and Nate, we went and checked out some new spots on some state ground, but the ranchers had a little too overgrazed. But then we hit some of our old stuff. First one we went to, moved about 30 birds between the two of us. One little loop. Yeah, it's been good.
You guys,
waiting for you to get up there.
Are you shooting geese out there right now?
Haven't pulled the trigger. It's too damn hot. I'm not going to lay on a ground blind unless 95 degrees.
Is there a season open there right now?
Yeah, open
last weekend,
August 15th. Yep, open on Saturday morning.
Another reason I hate you guys.
So how long are you staying up there?
I go home tomorrow. Then I'm going to
you're
be
going
back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Brent was just asking, are you going to be out there until he comes out there for opener Sharptail?
You bet. I come back right when Brett gets out here.
Okay.
I'll be out here on the 5th of September. And I'll be here till like the 23rd, 24th, somewhere around there.
Yep.
Andy's asking for you to start sharing some of Tyler's waypoints.
I haven't ran. Yesterday is the first day Tyler's taken me out and let me run with him. He's trying to hide all of his good spots.
Buds.
Yeah, the buds part, not so much. Nick, I grew a mustache for you. Do you like it?
Dude,
It looks really good.
I'm glad you brought one because, I wouldn't have been able to compete, clearly.
I don't like.
This is the first one I've ever been able to grow.
Really?
I've never been able to grow a mustache.
He started at the beginning of COVID.
To aspire to, then, Wes.
What's that?
I've got something to aspire to.
Yeah. See, you'll be 50 when you get one.
The Scandinavian heritage of my blood doesn't do me any favors in that regard, but
same here.
that's okay.
All right, guys, we're just hitting the top of the hour. So what I want to do though, I want Amanda, maybe you can share with everybody where they can find you on social media.
On Instagram, it's at Amanda Ballengee, and then my website with like my artwork and whatnot is amandaballengee.com.
Awesome. How about you, Bayley?
Probably best it's just Bayley01 on Instagram. And I saw a couple of Boundary Waters related questions pop up. Just message them to me. I got some tips for you if you're interested.
Yep.
What I'll also do is once we get this all done and wrapped up, probably in a day or so, I'll actually put in the comments or in the description, I'll link out both Amanda and Bayley's social media so you guys can get to it with super easy access. I'll also put in the details about the giveaway, and you guys can look at Driftfly telling us that we're not done. I'll put in the details of the giveaway. I will do my best to get it up tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to run it for 10 days, so we'll call it the 28th, and if I don't get it up, we'll call it the 29th, and how you guys can go about doing that. What I also wanted to do is some of you guys that follow us on social media already know that Dogtra gifted us a Dogtra TNB dual and or their new 3500X that we are going to give away because we are on the search for a logo. We are a bunch of broke-ass dudes that have no other means of getting a logo. So we are going to create a contest, and you guys can submit entries. I'll put up all the details and all the legal stuff probably Friday or Saturday. So just know that that's coming. If you've got designer friends or people that know their way around the graphic arts, make sure that you share it with them, tag them in it. At the end of the day, you could sell the collar if you don't want it and get a bunch of money from it because it will be brand new and about $380. So we'll put some details of kind of what we're looking for, but bring your creative, abilities, and hopefully we'll come up with something super cool.
We need a logo, folks. We're gonna have some swag coming.
Yeah, well, we can't have swag unless we get the logo, right?
Exactly.
That's
the point.
Kind of pops up. So, ladies, you guys have any final thoughts or anything you guys want to close this out with?
I'll just get out there. This is the year.
This is going to be a really good year. And we'll be looking for updates, Amanda, when you get up to Minnesota.
I promised her 50 woodcock a day so far.
Wow, that's
50?
bold.
That is,
No, I'm confident.
well,
Wow,
I will.
I'm super excited.
I will need to plan a trip to Minnesota too if we're gonna see 50 a day. But with that, thank you both so much for joining us. And so I will drop us out, and we'll probably chat without you guys for a little bit. And you all move on and have a wonderful night.
All right.
Do we just drop off all the listeners?